Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We've been away to the takeover on the Isle of Wight, and got a few bits done here and there, picked up a few bits and bobs, so I'll let the video do the talking. So, Isle of Wight Takeover done. I suppose I need to put this lot away. Just sort of abandoned it last night. So, thanks to my good buddy Dylan, as always. He's come through, he's brought all this stuff down here from Shropshire. Lots of goodies for the car. Picked up a nice new gear stick gator, because that one's looking a bit sort of haggard and aged. Oh, we've got all sorts of rubbish in here. Got a nice new math sensor, see if this car will stop running like a pile of crap. Got a new one of these, look, so I can start smoothing this one off a bit more and not worrying about mucking it up. We've got a spare. So what have we got? Dark grey carpet, much better than the light grey stuff we've got. Just needs a good clean. Boot plastics for either side, there and there. Got a nice new spoiler, that's just so I can play around with it a bit and do some bits I need to it. I think there's some other smaller bits somewhere in there, but I have no idea. My first job is to get all this right over there out of the way, but I'm not going to film that because it'll probably be quite embarrassing. My reversing skills aren't quite up to par. Right, well that's that done anyway. That was a bit close. Oh well. I don't use that anyway. So let's have a good look and see what we've got in here with all these parts that I've been sent. I'll better just open the boot and then I'll be back. Right, what have we got? One spoiler. Let's lay that on there. That'll do. Now the reason I've got this is because this spoiler that's on the car currently, some idiot, now if you remember, the wing mirrors were siliconed on or bonded on with something like no more nails or something like that. Don't know why. They should be bolted, and some idiot had decided to glue them on. Well, they've done that with this very spoiler. So the bolt holes where the spoiler should be, have a feeling the water gets through them. I think it was originally getting in through this bung, seeping down, and then collecting in the corner of the car, which, if I move this flooring, ta-da, you can see where it's been leaking. I'm sure that's what it is. As I say, this has all been, I don't think you can see very well up inside here. Probably not. Right up in here, there's a whole load of black mastic. So that can come off, rip it off, and then we can put this one on, and it should be complete with screws, so it can all be screwed back on. Yeah, there we go. Look, the guy I got it from has included the screws. Fantastic. Oh, that one's snapped, but I can deal with one. So yeah, that's that. Right, lovely. So what we got here? Boot plastics, fantastic. We can show you what's going on with those. Let's get rid of the flooring we don't need. Right. That is going to go in there somewhere like that. So then you've got access to all the rear light. Now originally, obviously, this housed the parcel shelf along the cross of the top here. We got this one as well. That one fits in there, something like that. So again, yeah, the parcel shelf went across here. A little boot light there. Speakers That's where your seatbelt would have threaded down into there for the back seats. It would have sat across there. We're not going to need any of that. So I don't know whether to just hack it out or leave it as is. Just, you know, fill over the speaker grills and cut those off, smooth it all off a bit, tidy it up, and then trim them in the nice Alcantara that we did. Yeah, as I said, got a dark grey carpet rather than the crusty light grey one we've got, which looks like that and has a nice rust patch on it and a big rip in it. So that's obviously all going to be tidied up. Now the gear gator, there's a mess in here still. You know, she's all looking very frayed around the top and a bit haggard. She's as old as the car, I should imagine. So we've got a nice new one. Can't really see that in this light. Don't like that chrome surround. Might have to change the colour of that, black or something. But yeah, so that's that. Now we've got a MAF sensor here. The car has had a funny little trick over the last few months where you start it up, she runs beautifully. After 5 or 10 minutes, she starts to idle very low. She'll cut right down as if it's about to cut out, and then it will shoot back up to sort of 1500 RPM. I don't know why I'm showing you that, because it's not currently doing it. Now I've taken out the idle control valve, which is brand new anyway. It's nothing to do with that. When I unplugged that MAF sensor, it ran a bit lumpy, but it behaved itself. It didn't cut out once. As soon as I plugged that back on, it ran better for a few minutes, and then it started mucking me about and eventually cut out. So we are going on the assumption that that MAF sensor is going to cure our problems. If it doesn't, 65 quid down the pan. But we've got to start somewhere, and that's as good a place as any, judging by what's been going on so far. So that's that. Finally, as I said in the last video, I've got this little piece here. So I guess my main goal will be to smooth this all off completely. So this fits flush with the rest of it because it sticks out, as you can see. And then we can start doing something with this, whether we paint it or cover it in Alcantara, because that seems to be my favourite thing at the moment. Who knows? But yeah, that's what that's for, just a spare if I cock that one up. Oh yes, this bit here, you can see originally someone had the letters Corsa stuck to it, and when they've taken it off, it's scratched it all up. So we have another one of those. So my good buddy Dylan had that kicking around at home from his Corsa project that he's got going on. So that's something else we can put on. Oh, I've just noticed actually. I've even got the original speakers in there. Look at that. I've got some tunage in the back of the car finally. I don't think they'll be staying somehow, but I suppose realistically I could probably keep them in there and mount something. So I've got some speakers in the rear. Just update them to something a bit more substantial than those, because they're going to be crap. Yeah, we haven't really talked about it. We did put a sub in here temporarily. It's one that I'd had kicking around in a garage back at home from many moons ago, living with my mum for the last 15 years or so, I would have said, and brought it home. Thought, yeah, we'll stick it in here just so we've got a bit of tunage until we can start getting some you know, something rolling properly in here. It smoked when we turned it on. Found out later on the reason for that was a dead mouse, like a skeleton of a mouse in the box. So yeah, I think that's why the sub's cooked. So now whether I get another little 12-inch just to mount in that box for now, just temporarily, because as I said before, I want to keep this system all kicker. The idea being that we put some solar barracks in there eventually, the square subs, something a bit different. Everybody goes vibe, I don't want to do that, I want to do something different. I was having a great conversation with a chap the other day at the Isle of Wight Takeover actually, who's got a Saab, and he'd got a couple of solar barracks in there, and you know, he absolutely loves them. Something that I've always wanted, and well, let's make it happen. You know, it's an old school max power car, and it's one of those old school max power things that we can, you know, stick in here. So let's see what happens with that. But anyway, I'm going to have a look at trying to fit these boot plastics, and then I'll come back at you so you can have a look. I've decided I'm not going to fasten these in completely because I'm going to start hacking away at them. I think with both of these, God, this sun's awful today. You know, the plan here, I think we're just going to trim that off so we can flush this all one level, because, you know, that's where the parcel shelf used to sit on there. So get rid of that, cut that off. I think we'll cut this corner off, see if we can smooth that all down and into this section. Undecided about these yet, whether we keep them or not. Might just end up flushing them over, and the seatbelt slot. And the same with this side. Cut that off, flush that round, get rid of the little peg. Anyway, whilst I've been doing other things, this has been running for about 15-20 minutes and it hasn't cut out once. It's ticking over beautifully. We've changed that mass sensor, so that was obviously the problem. So well chuffed about that. There we go, look, I've trimmed this one up, the old one that I had, and yeah, it's all done in Alcantara now, look. It's quite nice. And then I'm thinking I might do this bit, might do that bit, might do that, I don't know. Never seems to stop at the moment, so that is back off of there again because it's due to go to another meet tomorrow. I did think about pulling it on that, unloading it at the meet. I was like, no, there's not a lot of room. It's easier just to take that, drive it there. So there we go. So as we said to you before, we were going to trim these nice B pillars. They've all been done now. So they're looking a lot better. Just got to get the little triangular section over there trimmed up. But yeah, as you can see, these little bits here, painted black. You can't see them very well, so they're hidden, but they blend in with the rest of the Alcantara. So yeah, that's all looking pretty good. So we trimmed the piece on the dash here, part of the crash panel. Started doing a bit here. I've got to finish tucking it all in and sorting it all out. This bit's got to be cut out, but yeah, started trimming the dashboard up a little bit just to see what it looked like really. If I'm not happy with it, I'll rip it out and we'll start again and paint it or something. So those are the couple of little bits we've been doing there. We got these boot plastics that a good mate of mine brought down from Shropshire, and at the moment I'm just obviously cutting off bits that we don't want with a multi-tool. I'm just trimming along here. I want to get rid of this section here that all sticks out, and so that's all smooth straight down. And there's a few other bits I want to hack away at it. You know, if there's any bits that need to be filled in, then we'll get the old fiberglass out to do that. So yeah, we didn't really get too much footage of the takeover when we went there. I was absolutely terrible with my camera. It didn't make it out of my pocket at all, really. But yeah, we obviously went with the Max Power guys. We had the reunion sticker made up to help support those guys. You know, we had a fantastic time. What a great group of people they are. Met people from all over the country that came to that. You know, what a fantastic show. I can't recommend it enough. I mean, obviously I live over on the Isle of Wight, so it's very local to me. But you know, a lot of people have come down. They've got holiday homes and whatnot for a week with a group of friends. They stay, they make a week of it. You know, you've got the military road out the front here, which is probably one of the most beautiful roads in the country, to be honest. Snaking its way along the back of the island with the coastal views. I think, you know, people will absolute awe of this road. So yeah, there you go. That's the Corsa. That's what we're doing at the moment, is working on all these plastics so we can look at getting them trimmed up. And then yeah, I don't know. I guess we've got to start looking at retrimming the door cards and things like that. But let's see how we get on with this first. I was actually having a debate the other day about whether we were going to keep these speakers in here, but as I've cut that out, it's cut one of the brackets that it sits on. I think that answers our question that the speaker's going to definitely be going. You know, it's not necessary. We can get some other speakers in the back there anyway. So I think that grill there is going to go. We might as well just cut the rest of this out. Number 2. So as I say, this is where the parcel shelf itself hinged and sat down on this ridge here. So cut that off first, cut this out, do the same again. A really bit of rough fiberglass in for now, just fiberglass the inside of that, so obviously we can go over the top of that with some filler. This one's started to be done, run out of fiberglass to do the end. I'll get onto that in a little while. There we go, back out here with these. You can see where I've put a little bit of filler in there to you know, fill the seatbelt slot. I've run out of filler at the moment, got to get some more, so can't do any more with that. I've left this too long at the moment, so I can just trim it off. But yeah, that's all gone hard, and obviously I can just now start filling over the top of that. I started filling this yesterday. I've sanded a bit of it off, so yeah, I just need to obviously give it another going over with a bit more filler and then sand it flat. On this corner, so it used to stick out here, so I've just cut that off, and then I'm just going to sort of smooth it round so it looks like it blends in a bit better. At the moment they're rough, but you know, you get the idea of what's going on with them. There you go, that's some of the awful fiberglass in from behind. Doesn't matter what it looks like, because at the end of the day it's all going to be filled over and hopefully trimmed in something or painted. So gives you an idea of what's going on with it. It's tied it up a bit now, but that's it. That's about as much as we've got for the video for today, to be honest. Yeah, I don't want to bore everybody to death for hours and hours. You know, we'll make some more content at some stage and put another video out. But there's the what we're doing. Hopefully I've got a little bit more progress to show you once they're completed, rather than, you know, filming the whole thing, me doing these. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you soon.